Good morning, Facebook world. Hope you are well. Hope you are having a great Christmas and New Year's break. So today I just want to do a quick live. It is a bit off topic. Normally I do my topics of annihilating anxiety, and today I just wanted to shift gears a little bit and talk a little bit about how you can round off your year of 2019 and really set yourself up for success for 2020. Now I just want to walk you through a very simple process that I go through. And I go through the process generally around the 30th, 31st, if at the latest 1st of January. Now, it's a very simple process, and a lot of times we will get into the goal setting mode for 2020 or for the next year coming. And it's a really, really good thing to do, because ultimately your life will end up becoming whatever you intend it to be. And if you don't have any direction at all or any intention for where you want it to go, you'll pretty much end up exactly where you put or where you thought about, which was nothing. So you could end up in a very different place than what you actually desired. So it's really important that you set the course. It's really important that you set some guideposts, some signposts wanting to know. It's really important that you set some direction for your year going forward, but also at the same time, reward and recognize yourself for how far you've come in a year. Because we often actually underestimate what we have actually achieved in a year. Now, I want to simply walk you through the process that I go through around this time, around the 30th, 31st, and 1st, right? Now, it doesn't matter exactly what day you do it, but first thing I like to say to everyone is I love to do it at the beach. For me, I'm a beach person, I'm a Pisces, I just love to be around that creative energy. So I just love to pick a bench at the beach and just be in my own space, right? Now, first thing I love to do is I've got a notebook, right? And notebook, whatever kind of book you want to use, doesn't matter. But I like to keep all of my years in my same book, all right? It's really helpful if you do that. So first thing I've got in my notebook is, you can see here, is I've got my vision for my life, right? Now, I'm not going to read out my vision, but I've got basically my vision, my purpose, and my mission, all right? So my vision is where I'm headed and what I really want to create in my life. My purpose is why I want to do that. Why am I essentially here? And what am I here to offer the world? Mission is the different ways, it's getting hot, the different ways that I'm actually going to achieve that, all right? So vision is where I'm headed, purpose is why I'm going there, and then the mission is all the different ways that I'm going to achieve that, okay? Now, next thing I want to do is I want to review my goals from last year. And I want to look back and I want to see, have I achieved them? Now, the simple way that I do it is, awesome. Today is goal setting and Beach Day loves you in 2020. Awesome. So what I want to do is look back at my goals for last year, and I'm never critical as to whether I've achieved it or not. And the way that I look at the indicating system I use is, it is either a yes if it's completed, or it's a not yet, so NY if it's not yet completed, or the other one is NA, because sometimes what you find is that that goal is no longer relevant over the period of time. So maybe you set a goal to get a Ferrari, but then through the year you're like, no, I don't like Ferraris, I actually like Audis. All right, and maybe you're still in the process of getting the Audi, all right, whatever it might be. But maybe your goal was to go skydiving, all right? But then through the year, you're like, nah, skydiving's not really for me, and your interest has just changed. So in that case, you make it an NA, right? So you've got a not yet, you've got a yes for a complete achievement of the goal, and then the other one is NA, all right? So you can see by that process, you're not actually condemning yourself, you're just like, all right, cool. How did I track? What am I up to? And then for the not yet, you can obviously decide to add it to next year's goals if you want to. Next thing that I like to do is then think about, let me just go to the page, let me just skip through all the stuff. Alright, cool. Next thing I want to do is I want to look back at my calendar. A little bit fuzzy. I want to look back at my calendar, and I want to look back from January to now, and I want to write down every single thing that I actually achieved in the year. That's not too fuzzy. That's probably a little clearer. I want to write down every single thing that I achieved through the year. So it could be I went to XYZ seminar, I did XYZ workshop, I read X number of books, I met this particular person, I went to this particular holiday. You want to write down all of your major achievements for the year. So, first thing, recap so far. You want to look back at your goals for last year. What have you achieved, not yet achieved, what's NA for you? Next thing, you want to write down all the things that you achieved throughout the year. Now, the reason you do this is you want to acknowledge yourself for all the things that you actually got done. So, for example, I've written down one of the things was I sold X number of products. Next one I wrote down was I went on a cruise for my honeymoon. All right, that's a pretty cool thing, right, to write down. Next thing, I went to Movie World with my daughter. All right, that's a pretty cool thing to write down. You want to write down all the things that you believed are significant for you and what you achieved for the year. Now, next thing. All right, and normally that list for me comes out about 50, 60 items. And they may be things that are very different to your goals. They're just major things that you achieved that, you know, were in your schedule, okay? Because you want to really reward yourself for all the action that you took. Because life rewards action. Life rewards action. It's a really, really important thing to remind yourself of if you're the kind of person that procrastinates a little bit, okay? Now, next one is, it's one to stretch you a little bit, but the next title is, how do you want to show up? Oh, sorry, no, it's past tense. How have you shown up in the previous year or the year that's just passed, right? So, for example, I have been dedicated to X, or I have been committed to Y, or let's see, I have pushed myself to, okay? So the title is, how have you shown up in the previous year? So it's really important that you're honest with yourself. It's really important that you are not running from truth. Okay, so maybe you had a lot of issues in a particular area, let's say finances. Well, then when you ask yourself, how did you show up in that area? It starts to bring truth and life to really what's going on for you. Okay, so the heading is, how did I show up? And if you want further clarification around what could go in that one, just let me know, send me a private message, all right? But let's say one of the things I wrote down was, how did I show up? Well, I showed up as supportive of others, and then I write down the names of the people that I was supportive towards. All right. Next one. Next title. What are the top 10 ideal characteristics or top 10 characteristics of an ideal 2020 for you? What does an ideal 2020 look like for you? So for me, I've got that an ideal 2020 is insightful, it is financially profitable, it is healthy, it is action orientated, it is faith driven, it is supportive from others, it is self-edifying, I'm constantly learning, courageous communication towards other people, and it is fulfilling my needs on a daily basis. All right, so I'll recap. It is the top characteristics of an ideal 2020. All right, now you could have a list of 10, 20, 30. I find that 10 works for me. Okay, now next thing, next heading, my vision for 2020. What do I want to achieve in 2020? Okay, and then I'll describe it. Say 2020 will be a year in which I am even more steadfast in my commitment to, and then I'm going to list the topic headings. All right, so I've got financial growth, authentic communication, my infinite potential, my health and digestion, self-acknowledgement, and these different areas, right? Next page. My signposts for 2020. My signposts for 2020. What I mean by that is I don't actually write down goals. I write down signposts. This is something I got from one of my personal development trainers, because he mentioned that goals, if you make them either achieved or not achieved, sometimes you can get emotionally wrapped up into it, and you can also get lost in the how. And if you're in the how, you can often go, oh, no, it's too hard, I'm just going to not even commit 100% to that. And the how is a bit of a scapegoat, right? I much prefer the concept of signposts, because you can say that's a signpost of direction, and you can change direction along the way, but at least it gives you some direction. So for example, I like to write these in past tense. So for example, I have attended XYZ seminar in February, all right? Let's see, I have been on a birthday cruise with my mum, daughter, and my wife in March. I have purchased a new car, okay? And let's see, what's another one I can share with you? I have reduced my weight by X number of kilograms. Okay. Now, I like to write them in past tense because it trains my unconscious mind to believe that they have already been achieved. All right. Now, this is where I love to get creative and really draw on any ideas or anything that comes to mind that I think of. So I have X number of dollars in X account, or I have purchased a property, or I have done all these different things. Now, the way that I think about it is a signpost is an item that would make 2020 a phenomenal year for you. A year that would really stand out in your mind. And a year that would be like, yeah, that's pretty awesome. And one of my mentors once said, if you get even 6 out of those signposts, you have pretty much had a phenomenal year. So you want to make the signpost things that would really excite you and empower you. Well, let me get this angle right. And things that would make you go, yeah, I got that, right? Now, some of them, or if not, hopefully all of them, are things that may challenge you, or that you may not exactly know exactly how you're going to do it, but you're like, yeah, if I got that, that would be pretty awesome, all right? Now, that's all good and well, right? So you get creative, you want to put all those things down on paper, right? And it could be, ideally it's going to be linked back to those areas of your vision for 2020, all right? So you want to link it back to that. Now, you've got all your signposts down, you've got all that, right? Now, what you want to do then is definitely asterisk the ones that are quite important, quite attractive, and quite exciting for you. But you're just going to asterisk them. You're not going to put plans in place or anything like that. Because what you want to allow 2020 to be is an evolution of your intentions, not a year that is pressurized and manic and chaotic and you're putting so much pressure on yourself to achieve those things. Because the funny thing is, even without getting all crazy on your plans and stuff, I've had so many of my signposts come to fruition just because I put them down on paper. Now, the next part's even more important. Next question is, why am I worthy? Why am I worthy? Morning, April. Why am I worthy to achieve those signposts? So why am I so worthy and powerful to achieve what I've just written down? And you write down all the reasons why you actually believe that you are worthy to achieve those goals or those signposts that I set. And this is a really powerful process because you can then write down all the evidence that you have for when you have achieved your goals or your signposts in the past, okay? Because without establishing that evidence, your brain will go, oh, that's a nice idea, yeah, as if. Oh, that's just another nice idea, yeah, what if, right? But ultimately, the hack is, you've written down all your creative stuff, but now you go into your evidence as, yeah, I'm actually worthy and powerful to achieve what I've just written down, all right? It's a very powerful hack because it goes from the creative to the believable and the logic. All right, what else have we got next? Now, the next stage is I recommend on the page you write a line down the middle of it. And what I like to do is on the left-hand side, on the top, I write start. On the right-hand side, I write stop. and I write down all the things in 2020 I'm going to start doing, all right? And the new habits that I'm going to form. Now, I don't want to make these habits too radical or too out there. I don't want to say, let's say that I don't want to say go to the gym every day, three times a day, all right? Or I'm going to completely radicalize my diet. Or I don't want to say that I'm going to it's really hard to think about what to start. I'm going to start reading 3 books a day, all right? You don't want to put them too extreme. You want to put them such minute adjustments that you can handle that. So, for example, one of the ones that I've written down is find new healthy snacks that I can take to work each day. All right, cool. I can do that. Now, stop. So I want to look at all the things I want to start and write them down. I want to then look at all the things I want to stop doing in my life, okay? And guarantee there's going to be things that you need to stop doing, all right? Let's go, one of them may be swearing, all right? So I'm going to put down swearing as one of the things I want to stop doing as much as I have, all right? Next, I then want to look at, all right, out of all of this list, review it in my mind, and then decide, all right, what am I absolutely committed to doing? Because at the end of the day, your results come from your commitment, not just your ideas. Now, I think, okay. Now, the last part of it is 2020, how am I going to have even more fun and enjoyment as I achieve each of these signposts? Because when you can make your life fun and enjoyable, you're going to find that everything flows a lot smoother. Yes, we need to live outside of our comfort zone, but if we're living outside the comfort zone too much, eventually you're going to retract and abreact from all of it. We need to certainly seek out pain, and we need to seek out stretches and challenges, but if you are living out there too much, you will ultimately link in your mind too much pain and suffering to goal setting. And that's the last thing that you want, all right? You want to travel through 2020 with smiles, joy, and happiness, love, and laughter as much as you can, all right? Now, let's recap. Let's go back to the very beginning of what I was saying at the beginning of the life. First thing you want to do, find a quiet place that you love to be creative. It could be in the mountains, it could be on the beach, it could be, ideally not in a place where you regularly live. What I mean by that, in your living room or in your kitchen or something like that, all right? You want to be in a creative space. Next thing you want to do, look back at your goals for last year and write down next to it each item. Did you achieve it? Yes. If not yet, put NY, not yet. If it's no longer relevant, put NA. That's totally fine. Next thing you want to do is definitely look at, I just want to get the titles right for you. Okay. Next thing you want to do is look at your major achievements for the year. So go back to January and write down all the major things that you achieved for the year, all right? And it could be anything at all. It could be you delivered X number of workshops, you met X number of clients, it could be that you went on a holiday somewhere, it could be anything at all. All right, next thing you want to do is ask yourself, how did you show up in each of the areas of your life? How did you show up? All right, next thing you want to do, ask yourself, 2020, what would be the characteristics that would make it an ideal year for you? All right, ideal characteristics. Next, we've got make your vision for 2020. Make your vision. What does it look like and what are you committed to being? Next one is, what are your signposts for 2020? What are the things that you would love to achieve? And if you got those, even half of them or even a third of them, it would make it a phenomenal year. And next, ask yourself, why are you so powerful? Why are you so deserving of achieving each of those signposts? And then, as we talked about, having that list of things that you're committed to starting, that list of things that you're committed to stopping, and last of all, as I said, thinking of all the ways that you can make it fun and enjoyable as you achieve those signposts. All right. So hope that was helpful. Hope you got something out of it. I'd love you to share your experiences with me, send me a private message, whatever. But ultimately 2020 will be a year of whatever you decide it is. And I just love the process of just sitting down and acknowledging the year that has been. Because when you actually set a goal but then don't reward and don't celebrate, it can be a bit of a self-destructive process, all right? You definitely want to set your goals, set your direction and all of that, but then look back and go, shit, I've actually come quite far. And as one of my martial arts instructors says, it's not about comparing yourself to other people. It's also not about comparing yourself to an ideal or a perfect future necessarily, but it's about the little steps along the way and then looking back and go, wow, I'm better today than I was yesterday. And every day, if you can say that about yourself, then you're probably living a pretty awesome life. Or if you can at least say, today, I have learned something compared to what I did yesterday. All right. So hope you got some value from this live. I know it's probably gone longest than I've done most of my lives recently, but I just wanted to really unpack that process for you. And it's the quality of the questions that you ask yourself as you go through this process that will really bring up some great stuff for you. I'm really excited about my goals for 2020, but as I said, they're not really goals, they're just signposts. And I love doing the tally every year of going back and going, all right, cool. What have I achieved? How many of those did I achieve? And those signposts, how many of those are no longer relevant? And how many maybe partially did I complete or I'm still working on at the moment, all right? And those still partial ones I can whack into next year's signpost as well. Hope you got some value, hope you loved it, hope you like it, and I will see you on the next episode of the next live, which will be going back to the topic of annihilating anxiety, a big mission that I'm on and a big topic that I'm really focusing on for my life going forward. And you'll see a lot more episodes of that, and it's riddled throughout my signposts next year to really help out a lot more people with that area of anxiety in their lives. All right, Lindsay, morning. If you've missed the live, just go back to the very beginning, and I'll be uploading this to YouTube very shortly as well. All right, bye for now.